Senate President Bukola Saraki has said Nigeria is expecting massive participation of youth in the 2019 general elections due to the signing of the Not Too Young to Run bill into law by President Muhammadu Buhari. He spoke on Friday in Abuja at the celebration conference of the signing of the bill into law organized by the Not Too Young to Run movement. Saraki, represented by Special Advisor Legislative Matters and Strategy Kingsley Amako, described Nigerian youths as architects of democracy. The Senate President congratulated the movement for contributing to getting the bill signed by the President. For more on this, we have with us in the studio youth advocate Owolabi Falana. Thank you very much for finding time to join us.
Thank you for having me.
The Senate President is right. We've seen quite a number of introduction of younger people who have shown interest to running for president, for instance. But are you also optimistic that the passage of this bill is going to change voter apathy amongst young Nigerians?
Optimistic is not the word. I think it's going to bring up some challenges. Don't forget that the youth has the largest voting bloc in the country today. So we are looking at a situation whereby if we have different youths and they are not able to build consensus, so it's going to divide the voting bloc, so to speak. But if we have a vibrant youth who is capable, because I'm always laying emphasis on capability and ability to do it, not because of age. If you have someone who is capable to actually take on the whole brigade, so to speak, then the youths can rally around such a person, then we are going to get a good result.
Talking about capability, over the weekend, there were arguments because of some developments in the policy about how it's not just about getting your PVC, but who are you going to be casting your votes from? So it appears Nigerians are gradually gearing up for the elections properly. So how do you mean capable here if we're talking about bringing forth a vibrant youth? You know, the youths we've seen trying to come out and vie for positions now, we can't really place them and say these are positions they've held. Some of them are new to politics, you know, so how do we know this is a youth that is capable and will not disappoint Nigerians?
There is a discussion I was having with my wife this morning that now that we have found love, then what do we do with it?
Exactly.
So now, I want to tell you something. There are some advantages therein too that I'm happy about. If you look at Nigerian youths today, they are the ones in charge of innovation technology. All over the world, we are having young billionaires. A lot of organizations now, international, look at Mark Zuckerberg and all that, even they are Nigerians, they are running multinational organizations, they are running them well. Having said that, right now, there are also some disadvantages too in the whole polity. Look at the process of nomination of candidates through the political parties. You need to spend a lot of money. How many youths can afford this money? Look at structure. We have 198,000 polling units in Nigeria. What that means is that you need 198,000 people to start with to even contest for the Nigerian presidency. Do you have that kind of structure as a youth? So those are the things that we need to look at. That's why I said capability. There is a lot of things embedded in that word, capability. Do you have the structure? Do you have the, because if you are spending 1,000 naira for each of your 198,000 agents on the election date alone, you are spending 198 million.
Okay, those are the financial aspects. Intellectually now, are the youths we're seeing, are they ready intellectually for positions?
Very much ready. Because you cannot talk about how we get Nigeria to the next level, the next industrial revolution, and we'll still be depending on someone that is 80 years old. So the youths are ready.
It appears there's lots more required to get a younger person as president or governor, other than the bill that has been passed into law. But let's talk about the numbers. You know, the numbers of intending young leaders are growing by the day. What's the benefit of reaching coalition forum, or quorum rather, where the young bloc just produces one candidate and then they can be sure that they have the young numbers backing them up?
It's going to be difficult, but if we get to that level and we are able to achieve it, we're going to get a good result. Why is it going to be difficult? Number one, religion. Number two, ethnicity. I'm not even talking about structure and financing now. Let's look at those two major issues. Right now, Nigeria is divided across ethnic and religious lines. If you bring up a Christian candidate who says this is going to be a face of the youth, before you know it, you see the Muslims coming up that why is he not a Muslim? That is Nigerian reality.
So what will it take? What do you think it will take to achieve a consensus?
Consensus building, devoid of ethnic considerations, devoid of religious considerations, and us coming up together with having this Nigerian project at the back of our heart. That now we are going to forget about religion, we are going to forget about ethnicity. We want to do a crowdfunding among the youth for this one person who is going to be the face of the next generation of government leaders.
But you know, there are some who are also of the opinion that this law is pretty new. Perhaps the young leaders should start from councillors, becoming chairmen of local governments, and then with time, they can build the kind of capacity that is required to run for presidency.
I beg to disagree. Even though the law is new, but don't also forget that we've had commissioners who are young people. We've had a lot of people heading different agencies who are young people. Have you forgotten Chukwuemeka Shikelu, former Minister of Communication, who was very young, Frank Nweke Jr. Have you forgotten all those people who held strategic positions at a tender age, not elected, but of course appointed, and they performed creditably well.
There were pockets of them, though. If we have perhaps a larger number, and then with time, they can put heads together and go for the big
and
job.
not to even mention questioning the efficiency of these youths who have held these positions.
The youths that have held these positions, not all of them have been good, but we've seen some that have been outstanding, even in the private sector. The private sector you have today is being led by the youth, because most of the people you see who are shakers of our different, movers and shakers of our different industries, they are the youth. Let's give them the opportunity.
Okay, let's bring it into perspective now. There's a place of experience in politics. Are the youths of these days who are coming out that have no prior experience at all in politics saying they're still able to perform despite the fact that they've not had or held any positions?
Yes, that's another thing I look at when it comes to participation in election. Since 1999, we are just, by next year we will have spent 20 years of our return to democracy, so it's still pretty much low compared to other countries. So we are still experimenting. But please, I want you to have something at the back of your mind. We have been giving the old people the opportunity. We have been recycling them over the years. We didn't say, oh, this person has not been a governor before.
So you're saying we should experiment with the young?
Let's try a mixture of both. Of course, you cannot kick the old people away just immediately. Let's bring in some new.
But would you say that we've had a system of mentorship that is in place to bridge the gap between the aging leadership and the younger ones you're advocating for?
To enable a proper transition.
We've not had a good transition process from...
It means, therefore, that we don't have young people who are prepared for political leadership.
But I'm telling you that there are a lot of these old brigades too, people who are old, that left their private sector endeavor to go and to enter politics. Okay. So what that means is that, do you know that Yakubu Gowon was president at the age of 32? He didn't have any prior experience. But do you know what? Most of the infrastructures you see in Lagos today was done by him. And he just came from the UK. He went to a course, army course. He came after the coup. He was not even involved in the coup, and they made him an head of state. He didn't have prior...
All right, it appears there's still a long way to go as to how youths can be properly enabled to perform when in elected offices. But we'll see how it plays out. Owolabi Falana, thank you very much for joining us here on TVC News Hour. And we'll go for a quick break now to be back with more. Business and sports are also coming up soon. Stay with us.